Guys, welcome back to another breakdown for Blue Period. This is episode 7. Before we get going, make sure you guys are subscribed to the channel. My midway review goes up tomorrow. It is finally scheduled. I can't wait to share with you my top 3 EDs, OPs and anime of this season so far. I'm excited to share with you my thoughts. Also nervous that people may not agree with them, but we will see. I hope you guys tune in for that. That's scheduled to go up around 2 o'clock tomorrow in the UK time. There is a Discord channel too for you to get notified whenever videos go up on the channel, and that will allow you to also see scheduling. So if you're unsure when Blue Period episodes go up, it's a good little nod there as well. It's scary. Time has really gone by in this anime and we are already at the exams now. We're basically in the exam at the end of the episode itself. It really did feel like the anime, or the people in general who were making this anime, decided that they really wanted to push for the exams as they would be the most interesting part. The open with the rundown of the main characters and all of their weaknesses and where they are applying for is nice. It does refresh us a little bit, but we do get that scary idea that if you fail this time around, you have a year to wait to reapply. At least in the positive, you could theoretically work during that period, make some money back, also work on your skills and then reapply. At least you have the option of reapplying. It's not you get one chance and if you don't, you can't get back in. At the final tutor-student meeting, Yaguchi is told that he isn't self-centered enough, hasn't really got the ability to have fun. I think those are along the lines of what he gets. The self-centered thing, I don't really see as a bad thing. I can imagine you also can be not self-centered and create a good piece, inability to enjoy things. That bit I really do connect with. Because if you don't actually enjoy what you're doing, most of the time the work isn't going to be at its best. It's not going to be at its best potential. If Yaguchi really isn't having fun, his work pieces aren't going to be as good as when he really lets go and he really gets into the piece that he's creating. A massive congratulations to Hashida for actually passing and getting into university. It would have really been nice to actually see his piece, see his work. This really does sadly feel like a passing comment, which is down to pacing. A lot of the issues coming up, mainly this episode for me, because of pacing. And another one of those is, who remembers Yuka? Do you remember Yuka? We had this massive issue. There was something going on in the art classroom. We never found out what was going on and they ended up quitting the cram school. The anime's been absolutely flying through its speed. It's only now coming up because we actually see Yuka right at the end of the episode as well. Yaguchi also never really wondered what happened to Yuka and never really asked. We as a viewer never really caught up with them and saw what happened. Yaguchi running from his cram school to put things away. I really did just hope that his assignment didn't have a time limit, because we were also told there was 3 days before the first exam and he also had the time to do that across Japan, and I really hope the cram school was very close to his school. But we do get a really nice catch up with Yo, and because of how fast the anime's been flying, you would be forgiven if you forgot who he was. He was one of the friends initially from episode 1. We have a nice little catch up where he tells us he wants to be a pastry chef, and this is all inspired by how hard Yaguchi is chasing his dreams. He apparently failed at it initially, but now he has the fire under him to try and re-go for it, really try and go for being a pastry chef once more. It's this little moment where we have a chat with Yo, helps Yaguchi put some things into perspective. Yaguchi doesn't really like troubling people. One thing with him is we finally get this massive venting session because Yaguchi doesn't really like to talk to people. He doesn't like to bother other people. So often enough, he keeps it all to himself. He keeps it all bottled up. And venting, I think, is really, really healthy. It allows you to get things out of your system, even if you are just talking to someone and they're not actually helping you get through or find answers. Just hearing yourself talk it through can sometimes be enough. He also highlights the fact that Yaguchi doesn't really have the confidence in himself. He doesn't really believe in himself, and that's thus hampering his ability to actually enjoy things. It's a great message. I really do like this little chat, and I think it's something that they both needed to hear. It's a really productive chat. They all have a good old cry, and having a good cry is a really good thing as well. It's healthy. It gets things out of your system. The last minute info dump about no powders, no tools or chalks or anything felt a wee bit unprofessional. I know they technically say that this is normal for Japan and they normally do act, announce restrictions the day before. But it really does feel a little bit unprofessional, especially in the UK. Most places before an exam will tell you this is what's going to be happening. You can use this, you can't use that. It's generally all done at least a few weeks before because it prevents what we see here, where we have unnecessary stress, unnecessary last minute panicking. I do understand why powder and things like water would be banned though, because it would interfere with other people. Powder could get into other people's works or stuff would get onto other people's. We never really had that when it came to my art exams. The classroom was huge. The classroom was really, really big and you could really space out really, really well. And if someone wanted to do something a bit messy, they were generally kept in a certain area away from people so they didn't interfere with them. There's quite a few people taking the exam. There's actual floors and different classrooms of people all taking exams to get to the same place. At the end of the day, the exam comes down to expression. It's all about your expression. It doesn't really matter what you're using. They will be able to tell a good piece and a good artist from any other piece out there. Which reminds me of my singing exams when I was taking gradings. It doesn't matter what you sing. The judges basically will be marking you on things like technique, understanding, the ability to read music, and how you act with the accompaniment. You could sing in an exam with a cold and still pass if you still demonstrate knowledge and understanding of the skills. Seeing Yaguchi's stress rash is worrying to me. I know a few animes like this that will do it's the last day, something bad's about to happen, so it could be his final exam and this rash gets so bad that he can't lift his arm or something. I'm expecting them to pull that trope. I'm really expecting it because we see it so much. The men's rhythmic gymnastics, which was last season, I think it was last season, literal day of the competition, the guy sprains his hand. I think he sprains his hand. I have seen them use this trope so many times. I am expecting and waiting for Yaguchi to have issues in the final exam. He also seemingly starts to hallucinate whilst he's on the train, seeing a name that really wasn't there. I did panic that he had actually got off at the wrong station, but then we see our boy Yuka and it's all okay. But it is now time for exam. The first exam is self-portraits. It really feels like just the basics. This is as simple as it gets. The most interesting part is Yuka drawing a cross on the piece and walking out, which theoretically could count as your view of a self-portrait. You're not wanting to do on that in a really weird meta way. Something like this on a really odd day could actually be a piece that would actually get a lot of marks and get you right through. But what is really going on with Yuka? I really hope at some point we do actually spend more than 2 seconds looking at Yuka and actually find out what's going on, because it seems very, very important. And I really don't want it to interfere with Yuka getting into art school if that's something that they really, really want. Very excited to see the exams themselves. I really can't wait to see what piece that Yaguchi ends up producing. We've seen a very good self-portrait already with him. His self-portrait with the, I think he calls it a Chaco pen or something. That self-portrait was amazing. I love that self-portrait. So I'm really hoping that he can produce something just like that. He will be able to get quite a few marks because that self-portrait was really, really good. I think it really did express quite a bit. Hoping that Yaguchi can pull it through and stay focused. Hopefully his rash on his arm doesn't put him out too much. I can really see though that's going to have an effect at some point. I see it getting worse because he's not actually doing anything for it. He's not putting anything on the rash and he's still really stressed and he's itching it as well. So he's actually making it even worse. It's probably red, inflamed and a bit irritated. 100% I can see that coming back in the last exam and that's going to really bite him in the butt. Thank you guys so much for tuning in for another episode of The Blue Period. Very excited to be breaking this down with you guys. I don't know why the exams really have me hyped because I really want to see the final pieces. If they do ski through the exams, I'm going to be gutted because I really want to see him making art. That's what I'm really excited about. I want to see the process of Yaguchi making some good art. Make sure you guys are taking care of yourselves. Have a good weekend, guys. Bye-bye.